Hello again and welcome back to our course on Excel 2013. In this section we're going to take a look at sorting. And in order to demonstrate sorting, what I've done is to put together a list of courses from a local college for the year 2012-2013, and the course information is made up of 7 columns. We have in column A the title of the course. We have administration's course code in column B. We have the days of the week that the course runs on, start date, time, number of weeks, and the fee. And what I want to demonstrate here is how you can sort this information. Now, first of all, in case you're not quite sure what I mean by sorting this information, by sorting it I mean sorting it into sequence. If you look at the course title column, for instance, it's clear that that is not in alphabetical order. It goes A Access, BB Tech, and then it goes down Foundation, L2, and then it starts at A again. So it's clear that this information is not in alphabetical order of course title. You can also see that it's not in order of course code. Again, just scanning down there, you'll see that's not in sequence. In fact, you won't find any of these columns that it's in sequence on. Now, sometimes in order to find or present some information, you want it in order on one of the properties of the information, one of the attributes. So let's suppose, for example, that I wanted in the first instance to sort this on alphabetical order of course title. If I select column A, which is the course title column, select the data tab on the ribbon, and there is a sort and filter group, and a very simple first sort is to click on A to Z, which just says sort A to Z, lowest to highest. Now watch what happens if I do that. Now the first thing that it does is to warn me, Microsoft Excel found data next to your selection. Since you have not selected this data, it will not be sorted. Now this is a very, very important thing. This means if you just sort it as it is now, what you would find is that column A was sorted and not the others, which would indeed be a very bad thing to happen because all of the data would all get jumbled up. So you need to expand the selection to include the other columns. Now a situation may arise where you actually do want to sort one column and not the others. If that were the case, you would select this second option here, click on sort, and you would only have column A sorted. On this occasion we want to sort the whole lot, so we click on expand the selection. That means the whole thing will be included in the sort. Click on sort and everything is sorted. Well, almost everything, because you will see that Excel 2013 has recognized that the first row is a header row and therefore it hasn't sorted the header row in with the rest. But if you look down at the rest of the information, you'll see that all of those course titles are now in alphabetical order. And it's just as straightforward to do exactly the same sort in reverse alphabetical order using the second button there, the Sort Z to A button. Same again, expand the selection. Yes, we do want to expand the selection. Sort, and everything is now in reverse alphabetical order of course title. Now unfortunately the data that we're dealing with isn't always quite as straightforward as this data, and sometimes it will be necessary to sort data in a more complex way. If you select a column as we've done here and use one or other of those buttons, that gives you a very simple way of sorting data. But if you don't select a column, if you just click somewhere on your worksheet and instead click the sort button here, this gives you a sort dialog where there are several options, and amongst the options is the option to sort on more than one criterion. Now at the moment, by default, this picks up the sort order of the last sort order we used, which was sort by course title, sort on values, so that's the words that are actually in the course title, and the order is Z to A. If I wanted to change that back to say A to Z, that's fine. But supposing I wanted to sort on something else altogether, let's suppose I wanted to sort on fee. What I can do is I could delete this level and say I want to add a level. Now when I do add level, I then choose the field I want to sort on. So let's say I want to sort on fee. I can sort on the value, the color of the cell, the color of the font used in the cell, or the cell icon. In this case it's values, and of course Excel knows that this is a numeric column. It knows that these values are amounts. Now in fact I haven't got them formatted as currency, but they're formatted as numbers, so they'll sort fine. And then the order I can have is smallest to largest, largest to smallest, or I can define a custom order. Let's say smallest to largest. And right over on the right here, near the top of the dialog, there's a checkbox there, My Data Has Headers. In the case of the sort dialog, if the data doesn't have headers, you can uncheck this box to make sure that the first row gets sorted in with the others. And then there's also an options dialog. Now we've got two major sort options here. One of them is that we can make the sort options case sensitive, which means, for example, that capital B, US will sort differently from capital B, capital U, capital S. And secondly, almost all of the time in Excel you'll probably sort top to bottom, but you can actually sort in Excel left to right. You can effectively sort the columns into a different sequence. Now we won't be using either of those options on this course, so just be aware of the fact that you can make the sort case sensitive, and you can also sort columns rather than rows. Cancel that, and we're ready to do the sort on the basis of fee, so let's click on OK. And now you can see the courses that are 1,500 are on the right, then they go 1,520, 1,600, 1,610 and so on. Now if you look within the 1,500s, that's the first 10 roughly courses, the course titles are not in any particular order. The start dates are not in any particular order. Let's do a compound sort. Let's do a sort on more than one criterion. So what I'm going to do is to sort on fee first as the first sort criterion, then on start date. You notice how these start dates for the courses which have a fee of 1,500 go 5th September, 12th September, then back to 5th September, 1st of August. Let's sort by start date next, and then let's sort by course title. So two courses or three courses with the same fee and the same start date, they'll be organized in alphabetical order of course title. So we go into the sort dialog again. We already have the fee sort in there. Let's add another level. This will be start date, values. Again, Excel 2013 realizes that this is a date field, so it will sort those as dates, and because it's a date field it describes it as oldest to newest. And then we add another level which will be course title, again values, and because it's basically a text field it's A to Z, A to Z. Click on OK. And there is the sort. So for the 1,500 fee courses we have 1st of August, 5th September, September 5th, September 5th, September 5th, September 5th, so on. If you look at the September 5th courses, that's these ones, you'll see that the course titles are in alphabetical order. So there we are, that's sort in Excel 2013. I'll see you in the next section.